You know, few people know this about me, but I was actually in the film Aliens way back in 1986. However, all of my scenes were left on the cutting room floor, as they say. Apparently, I was not good at keeping with the atmosphere. I don't know. Here's a clip of me in the film Aliens. You tell me what you think.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
What are we gonna do? Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
Hey, you guys want me to roast you a marshmallow?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He nailed it. Before I get too deep into this review, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. I'm trying to build this channel up little by little, and every single person who subscribes is very much appreciated. Now, this film has been around for so long, and it's so well liked, chances are you probably have already seen it once, or at least you kind of understand what the film's about. However, in case you haven't seen the film, all you really need to know is that Lieutenant Ripley has been floating in space for 57 years. A deep salvage team just happens to find her escape pod and brings her back to Earth. Now, the Weyland Company wants to send Ripley back to LV-426, which is the planet where her original crew first made their initial contact with the xenomorphs. Yes, I just wanted to say xenomorphs. The rest of the plot actually fills in quite nicely when you watch the film, so go ahead and give it a watch if you've never done so. It also seems to be a little bit of a waste of time for me to break down the few problems that this film actually has. I mean, it happens to be one of my favorite all-time films, and I'm sure it is for many of you as well. So, instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this film is so important for now and why it continues to be an enjoyable movie to watch. This, of course, all begins and ends with the star of the show, Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver. Not only is Ellen Ripley just incredibly intelligent and resourceful, I mean, she's a freaking astronaut for God's sake, but there's much more to it than that. I think Ripley is the exact type of hero that we could use for this moment in history. You know why? Because she's terrified. All the time. Courage, of course, is a wonderful thing. The Marvel films have done a great job of sort of imbuing within us this idea that we want to have courage when duty calls. However, most of the time, on just a regular human level, great courage tends to come more out of great fears. Aliens focuses on two incredibly important fears that many of us face. The first one being having all of our choices being stripped away from us so that we're left with very little agency, very little choice in our life. The second fear that it focuses on is the idea of losing something that we value more than ourselves. This can often be losing a loved one or losing parts of our humanity that we think we may never get back. Let's talk about that first fear, the fear of losing choice, of losing agency. Now, constantly throughout the beginning part of the film, Ripley is telling the Weyland Company that she does not want to go on their mission back to the colony, back to LV-426. This might seem like she's using her agency and making a choice. However, I would argue that her fear is what's making the actual choice here. It's not coming from any sort of understanding of her place in life. It's only after Ripley actually chooses to go on the mission that we finally see that she's actually choosing to have a fulfilling life, one with sadness, happiness, and more importantly, hope. This is when she actually gets her agency back. She makes the choice to choose life. As for the second fear, losing something greater than ourselves, in order to understand that, you have to have a good perspective of your own worth. And at the time that Ripley comes back to Earth after that, sort of floating for 57 years in space, we come to learn that she's actually lost quite a bit. She didn't just simply lose her friends in terms of the crew from the first film. In those 57 years that she'd been away, her real daughter on Earth has lived her life and actually passed away. Of course, something as horrible as this can cause anybody to lose contact with humanity and to maybe value oneself much less than we actually should. As her mission with the Marines progresses, she runs into the young girl named Newt. Now, Newt can never take the place of Ripley's own daughter, but she does provide a way for Ripley to gain that human contact again, to love something more than just her own life. Make no mistake about it, if Ripley does not connect on a human level with Newt in the way that she does, she's going to lack the strength to be able to face the Queen at the end. And thus, she will never have saved Newt, Hicks, and Bishop. Mostly. We won't talk about Alien 3. So what's our silver lining lesson for today? Well, you should know that your fears do not make you weak. Your fears do not make you lack courage. Your fears do not make you less worthy of love and respect. In fact, your fears can embolden you to action. Your fears can make you love something so much that you will do everything that you can to protect it. The only real question is, do you have enough strength to face those fears, to recognize what they are, to know that at times you need help from others, loved ones, friends, professionals? If you can look in a mirror and say to yourself, I know what my fears look like, and I'm not going to let them dictate who I am or who I want to be. If you can do that, congratulations. You're a hero.